Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Saturday, January 15, 2022. And the sun is in Capricorn right now. Sun went into Capricorn about the 21st of last month, and it will be transiting into Aquarius soon in about 6 days. So now is an appropriate time to look back on the sun's transit through Capricorn. Just a reminder that when the sun is in Capricorn, the emphasis is placed on our attitudes toward responsibility, toward the structures that we rely on for support, and this sort of positive attitude that anything that we perceive can be achieved through labor. So, Sun in Capricorn, what aspirations and ambitions have we embodied in our labor so as to bring about a lighter, more youthful future for ourselves? Since Capricorn has this reputation for aging in reverse, the sign starts out more in a worker and responsibility mode, and not that we abdicate our responsibilities as the sun leaves that sign, but that we begin to lighten up and to look for opportunities to play and take responsibility while also having a little bit of fun in our lives. What is the quest that we're working to fulfill at this time? What have we realized during this time about that? And what part of this really positive energy, diligent working influence can we bring with us as we move forward into the sun's transit through Aquarius and just into the year 2022? Good questions to ask. The moon today begins in Gemini and it makes ingress to Cancer this morning. This represents a shift in our inner life, our heart and home, from a more, let's say, communicating, collaborating, again, playful vibe to a more home-centered and focused on our emotions and intuitions vibe in Cancer. And the waxing crescent phase of this moon continues for a couple days more to invite us to focus our energies and our efforts and our intentions toward the culmination of whatever goal that we may have set for ourselves for this full moon that's coming up on Monday in Cancer. Okay, let's take a look at the legend and go over what some of these symbols mean so we have an idea what kind of energies we're dealing with as we get into the aspects. The sun is at the top of the list, and the sun represents your outer life. This is who you are on the outside when you step out the door, the person that people first get to know when they meet you, and also how you engage in your social, civic, and work life. The moon represents the inner life, and this is more about your relationship with yourself. What do you feel with your emotions? What do you feel and know through your intuitions? And also, how do you engage in your domestic life? Here comes the train, friends. It's like I've got perfect timing. So Jupiter's on the page today. Jupiter represents growth, positive expansion, good vibrations, good fortune. Venus is our planet for love and money, or how do we relate to those things and people that we value the most. Pluto is down here and up here representing for Capricorn. And Pluto brings about transformation in our life through sort of the extremes of experience, the high highs and low lows. Mercury represents the intellect, especially the day-to-day thoughts, plans, and communications that we make, as well as the running around that we do. And Uranus is here. Uranus comes around and asks us to do things differently, and therefore represents the potential for some changes to come up. We have a few, that's interesting. We have a few aspect energies on the page today. I put square down here, but I don't see any on the page, so silly me. Square does represent the potential for challenges, and challenges do come up for us, but there are no squares on the page today, so I wouldn't be necessarily looking for them. Ingress relates to transition, and we feel the transition because a planetary body will be moving out of one sign and into the next, and that just indicates a shift in that planet's effects in our lives. And trine is a harmonious, very positive vibration. It indicates the possibility for synchronicity and just really smooth functioning. Signs of note on the page today are Capricorn, Gemini, and Cancer. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and get into these aspects. I have divided the page into 2 columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon, like I said, sheds light on our inner life, our emotions, and our home life. And so the effect of its very brief aspects, as it moves very quickly, the effect comes in on our inner life. I don't know if I said that very well, but basically the aspects and transitions that it makes have more of an impact on your emotions and how things go in your home life. The sun sheds light on our outer life, and I address the rest of the planets and their aspects on this side because they take longer and because they have more of an impact on how we behave out in the world. So we begin with the moon today. Central Standard Time, friends. At 10:10, for those of you who like to look at those angel numbers, at 10:10 a.m., the moon makes ingress to Cancer. So moon and Cancer, are very overlapped in their energies because moon rules the sign of Cancer. So moon and Cancer are about your emotions and they're about your home life. It's about giving comfort to the people that you keep close to us and actually taking comfort from them as well. It's a 2.5 day transit. So emphasis on the emotional life and the home space. And then at 5:31 this afternoon, the moon makes a trine aspect with Jupiter. So moon and Jupiter make a lot of aspects together, and generally they're pretty positive vibrations. It's a 2-hour vibration of just positive expansion and growth and good fortune, specifically as it relates to the heart and home. And that's appropriate since the moon is in Cancer. We're likely to really be feeling that heart and home vibe. And it's a great time just to connect with your loved ones. Might find some synchronicities or coincidences happening there. And either way, just connecting with your home space and your loved ones is a great idea, and you'll have a good time with it. You'll have positive functioning and perhaps some harmonious stuff happen. As for the sun side of the page, in the ongoing column, we have Venus retrograde through the 29th. This is our commitments under review, and this has to do with our home life, but also with our work life, especially with Capricorn's influence, since Venus has been in Capricorn this whole time. So in all of those relationships, in how we relate to the people that employ us, in how we relate to the people that we keep closest to us, and how we relate to the work that we do and the places where we work, we're seeking out a balance right now. We want to see value for our investment. And that's not to say that all of these relationships are purely transactional, although your workplace relationship is very largely transactional and should be. You need to be receiving good compensation for what you're giving. And that's what we're looking for right now. This is also a self-care check. So, Venus retrograde, in Venus, we like to give our care out. And in Venus retrograde, we're asked to sort of point that care inward. Ask yourself what you need in order to feel taken care of. What is the value you need to receive for your investment? And how much of that can you bring to yourself at this time? And this one, Mercury Retrograde, will be with us through the 3rd of February. So these are going direct, just a few days apart. Mercury Retrograde comes around 3 times a year. It lasts 3 weeks. And it's a communication shakeup. Basically, Mercury is your planet for your day-to-day thoughts, communications, plans that you make, and the running around you do. And so this involves a lot of technology, and sometimes our technology breaks down on us. Sometimes just our ability to feel like what we said was heard is not there. What I notice a lot during Mercury retrograde is that everybody has something that they want to express, and everybody feels like they're not being heard because other people aren't listening. So that means everybody is also not listening to anybody else. So, be aware of that challenge. We all face that challenge from time to time where we have more to say than we want to hear, and that's not always working for us. In order to collaborate, which is a thing that happens under Mercury's auspices, in order to collaborate and make plans to go forward, we not only have to have ideas and share them, but we have to be able to listen to other people's ideas and, share space within our plans. So we're going to find some planning challenges, some communication shakeups. This is really, it can be frustrating, but it's not a bad thing. It's really an opportunity for you to see what isn't working in your approaches to communicating and planning, and make the adjustment. Something that I read a long time ago was like, if you've ever tried to walk out into ocean water where, there are waves, sometimes you can't just push forward into the oncoming waves. Sometimes to make progress out in that direction, you have to step to the side and move out, and then step to the side and move out. So this is your opportunity to just sort of adjust your approach to step to the side. If writing that text or sending that email did not get you the response that you wanted, you got to change your approach. You got to step aside and move forward in a different way. And we don't have any new solar aspects on the page today. That's just fine. Nothing to panic about. Coming up on Monday, we have the full moon in Cancer. So this is a time of culmination and celebration. We can engage in gratitude for what we have and what we have achieved. Look back on the last couple of weeks and say, yeah, I made it from there to here, and I feel like I've done a good job. And appreciating what we have, what we've made, what we've achieved. And the moon in Cancer encourages us to do that in an emotional way. So hopefully, that's a joyous celebration, but we can be in our feelings about it, and possibly to do that at home, to have that celebration in our home space where we feel the most comfortable. Coming up next Tuesday, Uranus will go direct. So Uranus has been retrograde since August of 2021, and it goes direct on Tuesday. When Uranus is in retrograde, the changes that it brings about, the doing things differently that we try, is often more directed at ourselves. So we're changing on the inside, and we're trying to make different approaches from the inside. But when Uranus goes direct, then hopefully those changes we have wrought in our inner lives can be brought out into the outer life, and then we see things begin to happen differently on the outside. Also, next Tuesday, Pluto reaches its aphelion, which is its farthest distance from the sun. That's the planet for transformation, way out of the spotlight. And then on Wednesday, the sun is going to enter Aquarius, and we're going to discuss those things and more as they come up. Before I sign off with you today, that is your daily aspects for the day. Before I sign off with you today, I've finally had a question coming up regarding this tarot card that I keep by the side of my aspects every day. And the reason I haven't discussed it much is really because I find it a little bit difficult to explain why I put that specific tarot card there. It is not a randomly drawn tarot card. It really has to do with the division of the year into 10-degree segments. So I'm going to show you this, and I got it off the internet. It is not my creation at all, but this is a wheel of the year starting here, December. Well, starting up here, it really starts down here, but if you want to go to the beginning of the actual year, it would start right there. And, we have 365 days that are basically broken down to 10 to 11 day segments, one segment for each of the sun's transits through a sign. So we've got 12 transits of the sun through a sign, and each of those transits is broken down into 3 sections. So it's 10 degrees of the wheel. And this, for example, is the third section of Capricorn. Each sign is broken down into 3 sections. So this is the third section of Capricorn. It lasts from January 10th through the 19th. It is ruled by the sun, and the 4 of Pentacles is indicated here. So this is just a relationship of the numbered cards of the tarot. If you know anything about tarot, then you're going to relate to this. The numbered cards of the tarot, which is your sort of day-to-day events, the things that you can expect to come up, and to, just to a 10-day section of the year. So after the 19th, we'll move on to Aquarius. We'll be in Swords, which is air. Under Capricorn, we've been in Pentacles, which is earth. So the element of the sign that we're in relates to the element of the cards we're using. And that's the best I can explain that right now. So the 4 of Pentacles is the section of Capricorn that we're in right now. The 4 of Pentacles really talks about conserving your resources. And Pentacles is not just your wealth and your finance, but it is also your health, your physical well-being, and sort of the stuff that you have to support yourself in your physical well-being. Pentacles are really appropriate for the sign of Capricorn and Saturn because it's about your responsibility to yourself and your responsibility to, sort of growing and maintaining your resources. And the 4 of Pentacles kind of says we're in a mode of conserving our resources, our health resources and our financial resources, or whatever that stuff is that we have that we lean on for support. We're in a mode of conserving, but it also warns against being overly stingy. Money, it's nice to see it pile up sometimes, but you have to do something with it or it's not doing you any good. And likewise, good health, like it's good to have good health, but, you got to use your body. You got to get out and do things with it so that you can enjoy having that good health. So, there's a balance to be struck. But under this 10-degree cycle of the year for tarot, for tarot and astrology, which there's a huge amount of overlap between tarot and astrology, we conserve ourselves a little bit. And I'm going to try something else a little bit new today. I've been studying tarot not very long. On and off over the years for maybe 20, 25 years when I got my first tarot deck. But just recently, maybe over the last 6 months, I've put in some greater effort and study. And I find that it really helps me. I'm a person that has really sort of a vague thought process, and I blame that on my Mercury being in Pisces. So I'm just a little I don't always know what I think. It's more about how I feel. The way I communicate is how I feel, and it's really just sort of hard for me to talk to myself, especially internally. Sometimes, the conversation can be a little wild and not very direct and clear for me. So I love the tarot cards because they just give me something to think about. Okay, well, here's a conversation starter. What's going on in here, Mel? So I read for myself often, maybe not every day, but almost every day. And I also read with my spouse. We have this great channel called Happy Together where we do tarot readings. Currently, every day we post a tarot reading that's both of us. doing tarot on a specific subject, or maybe not on a specific subject. A lot of times we just get up in the morning and talk about whatever is on our mind. So I'm going to throw one tarot card for today, for Saturday, January 15, 2022. Just keeping in mind that Capricorn, the sun is still in Capricorn and the moon is moving into Cancer, where it will be on Monday when we have the full moon. And these positive aspects we have with Jupiter, and also these retrogrades we have with both Venus and Mercury, which can be challenging. It's always a bit of a shakeup and a time of reassessment. So let's draw a card for that. Ace of Cups. So I interpret Ace of Cups as, it's a pretty obvious phrase, my cup runneth over. Water element, cups is the water element, and that has a lot to do with our emotions and our intuitions. Cancer is the cardinal water sign, so the Ace of Cups is really appropriate here. It's just feeling the fullness of your emotions, perhaps having some to give, having some extra to share. I always notice sort of the pool of water below this, like the water springs out of the cup and it goes into this delightful, calm, life-giving pool beneath it. So, when your cup runneth over with loving emotions, you have a lot to share. And, share it with yourself. Don't give all of your love away. Reserve some for yourself at all times, but especially during Venus retrograde. And in addition to that, share some with the people around you to the best of your ability. Okay, so that is it for today, friends. Thank you for joining me. I would appreciate some feedback on this tarot card thing that I have added in. I'm going to try it for a little while. And I'll leave this up here for a few minutes just so that you can have a look at it, see what you think. If you give me a thumbs up, like my video, subscribe, I would appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, I would appreciate hearing them too. Put them in the comments below this video and I will see them and I will respond to them. So again, thank you so much for showing up for me here every day the way you do, and I appreciate your attentiveness, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more daily astrological aspects.